Testing one, two, three, testing, testing. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to the .NET Lunch Stream. This is Aaron, the Custoda. Hope you guys are all having a happy Friday. For those who watch the video on demand, you know who you are on YouTube. There's a lot of you, actually. Thanks, man. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on demand, obviously, we're going to be working a little bit on .NET today. It's the .NET Lunch Stream. We're going to kind of continue out where we were heading off from yesterday, working on this mobile app. I'm going to go ahead and just build real quick. Open up, of course, Rider, not having used this project since yesterday. And of course, a bunch of red squiggly lines are coming up. And don't know why. I haven't changed any of the code. So, and it built yesterday, should build today. Tooling is hard, it turns out. And I've kind of said this before. Sometimes there are some red herrings going on here in the .NET tooling on the Mac. So we are, for you, those of you new to the stream and stuff, I am primarily a Mac developer. I use .NET on a Mac. And so I do a lot of streaming of like the experience of developing .NET applications on a Mac. And you can see here, this built, even though it says it's errors, you can see here, it says it finished building. And this is the tooling inside of JetBrains Rider right now. It's not 100% great, to tell you the truth, but it's functional for the most part. You just can't trust everything it says. Like where it says all these errors exist that really don't exist. I don't know why it says there are errors, but there are no errors. In fact, we could prove this by simply running this puppy. Let's run it on the Mac to start out with and just make sure we know where we are at. Get our bearing set. There it is. It ran instantly. See how fast that was? So yeah, don't know what to say. Errors. You are wrong. Let's make sure that the stream can see this. So we've got an app here we've been working on. It's a Maui app. We started working on this user profile section where we would like to have the ability to go through and get some email and a name and also your picture and then maybe some other information. There's a little button here we want to be able to click on. And we want to be able to change some stuff when that happens. So that's where we kind of we're working on our little inventory application here. And that's where we kind of probably want to continue working on. So to start out with, we've been doing primarily all this work in the app shell. Okay. So the app shell in Maui is a add-on kind of way of handling things. The shell will do things for you like navigation. It gives you your flyout. So we're using something called a flyout. The flyout brings out the menu that comes out from the left using the hamburger menu, or for some people call it that. Other people call it the overflow menu. Well, whatever you want to call it. It's a menu that flies out, and we're able to then put components on it and render, and mostly used for navigation and very popular in iOS applications. Really popular, I would say, since UI Split View came out and the split view inside of Swift UI, which are native components. And one second here, let me pull up one of the Apple native apps real quick here that we can look at that with, just to kind of state what I am, or maybe overstate what I am talking about here. I'll just bring up the Notes app real quick here. I just make sure there's no bad notes in here. This all looks legal. And you see here that the Notes app, we have a view here, and then a view here. This is technically speaking the flyout right here, and you can close it and open it. It just happens to be that this flyout here is open by default. and they give you a little icon for it. And we could enable that. You know, we'd have to write some custom code to do that, but we could. But that's the native component that Maui's using is a split view. Okay. And so that's how the flyout's coming out. And there's a different state that you can set the split view in. And we could do some on platform stuff to even make this if it's on like Catalyst that have the menu always open. In fact, that might not be a bad idea. Let's see here. Sorry, somebody at work just messaged me. Let's take a look at here, and see if we could do that. Let's take a look at the, it'd be in the flyout options here, right? So you can see here, right here's our flyout behavior and our flyout header behavior, okay? So if we look at the behavior options, we'll see that there's flyout, locked, or disabled. Right now we have it flyout. Now, if we wanted to make this different, we would have to do something like this. We would have to say, we'd have to do some on platform trickery. So we'd want to say basically, on platform, we'd say iOS equals flyout. We would say, oh, 1 second, we have to make this text, right? Because this is, we'd say this would be locked. Android, we'd say flyout. And when UI, we'd also say locked. Because these are bigger desktop screens, right? And that, by theory, should make it, if we run it in Catalyst, it should always be open then. If we go ahead and log in, let's go ahead and try this and see what happens. So see, there you go. It's always open now. So, you know, obviously I didn't put the icon up there and stuff, but, and honestly, the other thing that kind of sucks is now that, well, sucks, that's a bad word. The other thing I don't like is that you see here, this bar, and this bar don't match, and that's going to drive me nuts. The height should match. So that means we're probably going to want to do some trickery there to fix this so that we're too high. We're too high by, I'm guessing, about 20 pixels, maybe? 20 pixels, that's what I'm guessing. We can go fix that though. Let's take a look at this. So that's going to be in right here where we have our vertical stack and our flyout header. We'll see here that we're doing padding, and let's switch this to 180. Let's see what happens when we do 180 padding. We also have to do the height request and take a look at this because that's also probably not helping it. So the frame would be inside of it that it's drawing, and we're saying that's 80. I think we want 60 there. Let's try these two things to see what happens. Now there's no hot reload on the Mac right now with Rider or any of the options for it, and that kind of stinks for Maui. That means that you have to kind of rebuild every time. Oh, look at that. That's very close. But look at now our text is getting cut off. So that's a bad thing. So we'll have to take a look at our text size, shrink that down a little bit. And then we're pretty close on that frame height. You see here, I said 60, but really we're probably looking at 56. Is my guess 56? 56. We'll probably make WinUI the same thing. We're not going to test on WinUI right now. That thing's a pile of garbage. Let's take a look at the font though, the label here. So we'll see here, height request. That's probably what's killing us right now. We're doing a 28. Let's do a 24 on this and 24 here. And then the height request on the label, Mac Catalyst equals, I don't know why it's saying 32, but our Copilot friend is making some suggestions here. GitHub Copilot. Thanks for helping out, bud. We'll see what happens here. If that's the right answer. I'm not really sure if that's the right answer or not. It seems like, there it goes. Inventory demo is now showing up properly again. Let's see here. We're still off though. 56 is not enough. There's still a little lip there, and I don't like that. And so let's go back and take a look at our frame again. This is what's drawing our frame that our label's sitting in. And so let's drop this to 50. That's a pretty big drop. To tell you the truth, it may be 48. Now I think about it, 48 is a nice round binary number that I bet you the header, because that's a UI navigation menu. Yeah, see, take a look at that. If we were to, can we zoom this out? There is no ability. Oh, there is ability to zoom. Let's zoom in. Nope, that's not what I wanted. If we look here, we could tell that our pixel is just a couple pixels off. And we're at what? We're at 50. That would make this about 52 is my guess. We're a little bit short. We're a little bit short. Let's try that and see if that fixes it. Just checking to make sure that those are cool. The alert notification things there. I just want to make sure. Oh, wow. That's too much. Now we're over. Come on. Come on. It can't be 51. That seems like such an odd number. That doesn't... I don't believe it. Don't believe it. And I know I'm nitpicking pixels here. Boy. I'm looking, folks, to see. That's so close. Man. Also, I think the font for projects is probably, you can see here we have projects, and over here, this is too big. We should probably shrink down so we match the font size of the projects. So we look at that label here, we're going too high. And it looks out of place. Let's try 24 here on the label. Oh, that's a height request, not the label itself. We want to say here Catalyst, let's make that 18. I think it may be even 14. It's in the theme. I should have just went and looked at the theme, shouldn't I? I guess let's take a look at this real quick here. See. Yeah, it still looks a little bit too big, to tell you the truth. Huh. Yeah, let's take a look and see what's in the theme. Let's see here. Fonts. Nope, we would want styles. And let's take a look. It's the navigation. Let's see here. Bar background color, bar text color, icon color. These are all the colors. Where are my font sizes? All right, so let's see here. What is this setter for, though? This is for button. Next, we're setting font size for date picker. Then we're setting font size for the editor. Then we're setting font size for the entry. We're getting closer. Labels. Default is 14. Ooh, title color. I like this. Oh, that's a picker. Still not there yet. Radio button. I think it's going to be 14, the answer, though. This is search bar. Search bar is almost the same thing. It's saying that the font size is 14. Search handler. Time picker. That's all of them. So I think that the default label size is 14. So let's just take the label size out. We'll take the font size out. Let it default. And then I think the bold is also going to look possibly wrong. We'll see what happens here. Well, yep, it's the same size now. That's fine. I think that's fine, to tell you the truth. I'm getting old, so font size is sometimes that small. But if we compare it to what's on the toolbar here, I guess it's a little bit bigger here in the IDE, but not that much. I also have the font jacked up in the IDE because I'm streaming. So I think that's, let me put it over on a different monitor. Just check it here on a Retina monitor that I have. No, that's completely readable. Okay, I'm gonna be happy with that. So look at that. We already made some changes here. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh, let's test mobile real quick. Let's go back to the iPhone and make sure that our fix here doesn't, or our change doesn't somehow break the world of mobile. Hey Nick, how's it going? Happy Friday, man. Hope everything's going well with you in the Callies, and hopefully you are having some decent weather in the North Callies here. It is freaking cold here in Alabama, where I live. It is. I used to live in Michigan. As you can see here, here's my Michigan sweat jacket here. And man, it has been as cold as it was when I was living in Michigan. Bright and sunny. Oh man, I wish I could. It's sunny here, but it's just very cold. Let's take a look at that. That actually looks perfect. I am very happy with that. If that's the UI, I will take that. I don't like this button. I told everybody that on the last stream. I'm not happy with the button. I think that's too fat for a button, but I can fix that. I can thinny that down, but I have to do a style for it. But right now I'm just trying to get functionality versus everything else. 52, not bad. I don't think I think it's cooler than that here, but I could be wrong. I'm a wuss. What is the weather.com saying for my zip code? 53 here. So we're 1 degree warmer. It just feels cold out there though. So even though it is technically speaking 53, I don't know if it's the wind or whatever, it just feels ridiculously cold. You can see here on mobile, notice that height, it's a couple pixels off. It should be a couple pixels bigger. This is where you can nitpick UI all day, man. If you are really like one of those type of people, man, I'm telling you, you could just literally go to town on this all day. Now, if I look here, the height request on mobile is 40 pixels for the frame. And when we look at that, it's probably 42 over here. I mean, actually, I believe that's probably 48. Let's try 48. We could Google this. This is called a UI, iOS UI navigation bar default height. And it is 44 pixels. So I was wrong. That is what that component is. So because of that, we're going to just default that to 44 pixels instead of 48. And that will match up. Let's check that out. And that should make the mobiles, the iOS mobiles look good. And when we open it up, it should be the same height going across. Am I a stickler on this kind of stuff? Yeah, I kind of am. And if you make an app and I see that it's, yeah, see, look at that. That slides across perfectly now. Yeah. And I know that I should probably take a look at maybe doing the status bar up here, but the UI status bar is actually not awesome. To change that when a flyover comes over is actually a lot more work than you can imagine. More work than I'm willing to do right now. It would be almost easier to make this whole entire bar red than it would be to do this. It is possible, but it involves some Z-axis trickery from my memory. I have done it before. I think also that our circle image here is rather square. I think there's some stuff we have to take a look at that image long term. I think that the radius is wrong on that. We're using a built-in component. What was that called? It's part of the Maui toolkit, the avatar view here. So we're doing a width and height request of 70, but the image is what? That's the problem. How big is this image? Of course, it's not going to tell me that. I think we could look at this in the Finder. Open in Finder. And then here's in the Finder. Oh, it's quite big. It's 192. So it's scaling the image. But we want a perfect half so that it doesn't piculate. Where 92 is a perfect binary number. If we divide that by 2, we should get another perfect binary number, 96. That makes sense. So we don't want 96. So if we don't want 96, we would want, well, 64, then 64 plus 16, 80. Well, let's try going down to 64, see if that helps from a scaling standpoint. You just got to remember your binaries, right? That's something that, you know, if you look at your 8 bits, right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. There's your 8 bits, right? So you have 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. And then obviously, if you add any of those bits together, you can bit shift those numbers. So then you have your in-betweens, your 40, your 48, your 64s, your 80s, 96. If you go higher than that, you have the magic numbers like 224, 192. You're asking, how does Aaron know all these from memory? Subnet masking in IP. So if you go TCP IP if config, your IP address, just so you know on your computer, that's a thing that gets you on the internet. If we go look here at one of my IPs, I have to find the one that I'm actually using. It doesn't, well, look at this one, it doesn't really matter here. See this net mask? This net mask you usually see as 255.255.0.0, or excuse me, 255.255.255.0. However, that is a binary number, and this is the hex version of this number. And I don't know what that was, but that sounded like a gunshot of some sorts. That's weird. Huh. I thought I heard a gunshot. This would tell me that this 2Fs means that this is probably 255.0.0.0, right? Because all the bits are on here. Okay, it wasn't just me. I just thought I heard something. That was weird. Let me text my wife real quick to make sure everything's cool. Sorry about that. 1 sec here. Sorry about this, folks. Just making sure that everything's okay. And so 169.254, this means that there was no DHCP and it couldn't find this IP address. And that's why this is equal to, this net mask would be different. So that'd be 4 255. So that'd be 255.255.0.0, which makes sense. This is what they call class B. The first 2 digits are in the range of class B, which would be 128 through 172, if I remember right, for class B. And then class C start higher than that and go to 224, and then 225. 224 up is a class D, it's called. Class A's are everything before that. I used to be an IP nerd. I used to know a lot about when the internet first came out. I wrote software. I worked at an ISP, so I know a lot about TCP IP because of that. And so you learn a lot about binary when you have to do that. She felt it but didn't hear it. Wow. Huh. All right. Well, we'll keep the lunch stream going a little bit longer. If I hear a noise again, I might have to close out early to see what the heck's going on there. Not sure what's going on. Weird. But I feel like this is that's looking pretty sweet. That's looking pretty hot stuff here. So where are we going to go next? Well, we know that oh, we were looking at that profile image. That's what we're looking at. Sorry, I got distracted by that noise. And so it doesn't look pixelated anymore. That's a good thing, right? So the pixelation was happening because we were scaling it wrong. However, you can see that here this is not a perfect radius, which means that it's not fitting in within the container. And so I may have to take a look at scaling the image outside of the avatar view. I may have to go look at the avatar view code, see how it works, and see how I need to scale the image so it fits within there. All right. My wife's actually messaged me that the dogs are freaked out. That's not good. What the heck could have been? I know the general area of where the sound came from, but let's see if we can finish out a couple things here. Then I'll probably call the stream a little early today just to go investigate what the heck's going on here. So we need a view model, okay? And we want to attach our view model to our shell. So we're going to make a shell, an app shell view model. Not always needed, but so I didn't have one, but the minute you need one, make one. And we'll make an app shell view model. We'll add that. Now, if we take a look at another view model, that we're actually using. Let's see here. Login view model we use. We'll see here that we want to inherit from an observable object. We also want to make it a partial class. And that is so that if you, this is for the observables and the ability to inject this in, because it auto-generates code based on these observable properties here. And so what ends up happening is that if I set this as an observable property, what's going to do is it's going to make a username property for me. It's going to code gen that. So I need to make this a partial class so that the code generator will generate the rest of it. And you can see here that I'm setting username equal to string.empty. But if you look here, I don't have a username property. Instead, this code gen takes this underscore username, which is my private version of it, and makes a public version of it for me. So that's pretty cool. So we know that for that, then what we have to do is we have to follow the same pattern. So we're going to grab this here. We're going to go into here, and we're going to say that this is going to inherit from observable objects. We're going to say partial here, partial. And they deleted the word class for me, so that sucks. So let's put that back in. Let's add in our reference. It's going to say it's missing a reference to the component model here. That will fix that. What? Okay, that's weird. It is with the S on it. You are tooling. Yeah, so even though I say that it's that, the tooling still hasn't updated. Let me close the file and open it and see if that fixes the tooling error. No, it's still gonna be a jerk. .NET CB Lite, that's right, inventory. Oh, it's missing the Maui in it. There it goes. Now it's happy. All right, glad it's happy. So what do we need here? We need some stuff. So one, we know that app shell, well, technically speaking, we could probably take this logout click and refactor this into our view model, because that's a behavior of a view model, right? So we were doing it inside of app shell, but now we have that. Let's start by injecting in this into it. So we'll start our world of doing that, and then we're going to have to go through and add this in. So let's go ahead and add in port missing reference. Then we'll do a CTOR on this. A CTOR is a constructor shortcut that will make a constructor for you. And what I'm going to do is say authentication service, and then I could say authentication equals authentication service. That'll give me my pointer to it. That keeps that all happy in the worlds. Let's take a look here. Oh, we did observable object. So then once we do that, we have that set. Technically speaking, I would want to, I'll need to, so error message would have to go, all right, let's, I don't need that. So let's start with what app shell needs. All right, so let's go back to what we were doing here. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by what I could do versus what I need to do. So we need the authentication service because we'll have to get the user that's logged in. Oh, my wife says that she's hearing guns now. That's not good. I'll have to possibly take a look at this in a little bit here. Maybe a neighbor shot a deer and is looking for it over in our property, maybe? I don't know. I'll need the authentication service because I need to find out who the current authenticated user is so I can pass that into a user repository. Now, why would I need that, Aaron? That's a good question if you're asking that. Let me answer why we need that. Now, I'm thinking ahead because as a developer, I'm envisioning the stuff I need because that's the stuff I have to write. Holy crap, that's another one. All right, guys. Something's not right here. Let me just build this real quick and I'm gonna have to run. There's something bigger going on here. This right here, this user information will come from a user repository. In order to get the user repository, I have to know who the current user is logged in, and I can send that to repository, have it look it up in the database. That's what I want to do. So I want to make a view model. I want to make sure I have that, and I need to do that. All right, guys, I gotta go. My wife is freaking out here, so I'm going to have to cut the stream early and go figure out what the hell's going on here. So I apologize for that. I will and possibly be back.